Hello, everybody, and welcome to Traumaplicity, which is trauma plus simplicity, meaning that our brain can handle just the simple steps in a complex process of overcoming our trauma. And all of us have had different types of trauma. And so this Traumaplicity talk show happens every Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Amanda Helman author and speaker page. My name is Dr. Amanda Helman, and I'm so excited to have my guest today, Jeri Hunley. And I met her through a M3 Linked as a forum, and we have connected ever since. And she is a founder of Single Family Living, and I'm actually honored to be on her board. So it's been great to get to know Jeri. So Jeri, I'm just so glad you're here, and I want you to be able to share part of your story. So what is part of your story that's really impacted your life?
So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for asking me to be here and share my story. The biggest part of my story that I want to share is how I was impacted as a single mom. I became a single mom. I don't think anybody ever plans to be a single parent. In certain circumstances, I felt that I was being abandoned because I had two small kids. One was a toddler and one wasn't even born yet. It was still in my stomach. So not only being abandoned, not once, but twice, by two different people. So you have to take a look at it, at yourself, and recognize if sometimes you think that there's something wrong with yourself, and not something wrong with that person who you were with, because it could be within myself that I looked at my choices and relationships with the type of people that I gravitated to, or it was just something broken within me. So I felt that abandonment with not having a stable relationship had really, knocked down my confidence. And it made me have anxiety. I had suffered from anxiety for years because of, being abandoned. Especially when you're pregnant and you're abandoned, not once, but twice. That does something to your psyche where you're like, okay, you're on a survival mode all the time. It's like, okay, so you have to prepare. So now what? So everything within your life, you have to have backup plans for backup plans. And it's tough to depend on people, depend on other people, to trust people. And with abandonment in a situation like that, you feel insecure. You definitely don't want to put yourself out there to open up to others and to let other people know how you feel within that moment, because they could probably use that information against you. And it has a lot to do with, being involved with other people and recognizing who is truly genuine. So I feel like abandonment is the huge part of, especially within a single parent life.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing and your story and how you had these different situations where there was abandonment, and then also the feelings that came with it, and how this other people, perhaps even in the audience, may relate to that feeling of abandonment, or that you didn't expect to be a single parent, raising children, and didn't expect those situations. So dealing with all those different emotions that come with it, and also thinking, like you said, like just taking the reflection back for you as well as the situation. And that can be really challenging. And like you said, having different double plans and backups and having to navigate. So over time, I'm sure there's been quite a journey for you, and which goes to why perhaps you even have what you're doing now, which is because you can relate to other single families, single parents that are in families. And so, what were 3 to 5 simple steps that you did in your own like healing process to address abandonment? Or what have you done that has helped you that might help other people?
Now, keep in mind, Amanda, that just because I help a lot of people doesn't mean that I still suffer
Mhm.
from that on a day-to-day basis. So I am still a single parent,
Mhm.
and I work on myself every day. So the first thing that I did was to realize and recognize that I need help.
Mhm.
If you recognize that within yourself and write down some of the things that you need to work on within yourself, then I think that's the huge start. If you walk around thinking that you're fine and you're good, and it's not, it's all that other person's fault, then I think you're heading down to a place where you're not going to be on the road for healing within yourself. So
Mhm.
I think the first thing I would say, recognize that you need help for yourself.
Mhm.
And then I would say, seek someone out, seek a professional, seek someone that you trust, that is familiar with being able to try to navigate your path to success, a successful you. Um, I think that's so important. And then I would also say meditate each day. I'm telling you, I was not an advocate for meditation. I didn't even know how to meditate, but it took me a long time. I didn't give up though. It took me a long time to just sit down in a quiet space. It could be a small space, um, not where there's a whole bunch of people or any kids around, but somewhere that is, you feel comfortable in a safe space, that is quiet, and that you can meditate on a deeper level. And then I would say also, what's so important is that you maintain positive affirmations. I'm telling you, that is like having positive affirmations every day. Sometimes I listen to positive CDs. I go to the library, get CDs, or go on YouTube, listen to positive affirmations. Sometimes 3 times a day, because it depends on the situation on that day. But definitely listening to positive affirmations on a day-to-day basis. You need that. You need to replenish yourself and replenish your thoughts and your soul, to be in a good space. And then also, last but not least, this is so important, I surround myself around positive people that is going to provide me with filling my soul with positive affirmations. Not only I'm listening to positive affirmations on a day-to-day basis, but I'm surrounding myself with positive people that is going to help me and build me up, not bring me down, not put their thumb on me, and tell me that I'm not good enough, or you're dumb, you're stupid, or anything like that. I surround myself. That is so important that you surround yourself around good, positive people. I have great family support and I have great friends. I had to make sure that I surround myself with people that love me for me.
Those are really strong and powerful tips. So I know you had said about seeking help, asking for help, Jeri, and being able to admit that there that you may need to go deeper, like even within yourself, and also writing things down. I think are really important, journaling or something, getting out what it is that we need to say, or recording it. Some people are not always writers, but doing something to get out the processing, as you mentioned. And I also think some form of meditation, there's many different types of ways to do that. But like you said, staying, peaceful and having that time for yourself, and also the positive affirmations, and not just hearing them, maybe perhaps if you're reading them or hearing some type of recording, but also surrounding yourself with people that are positive and having people that are supportive is really important, especially when we may have not have had that. And if we're hearing, depending on, again, some of the audience, if you've grown up with people who weren't as supportive, they didn't know how, or there's been generational patterns, that can be impactful. But when you actually start to hang around people who are positive, again, you're going to have people that give you healthy feedback, but you want to have people who are a good balance, like they're very supportive. So I think those are great tips for those of you who are struggling with abandonment. And abandonment's a very deep root. It's really deep, and it can go deeper from like the circumstances. But when we're dealing with that, it is important to know that we have support systems in life. So I'm glad that you were able to share that, Jeri. And
Yeah,
for that,
one more
yeah.
thing, I don't mean to cut you off, but
Oh, go ahead.
it's another thing as well as a single parent, that if you recognize within yourself that you have abandonment issues, then it's not going to go from generation to generation to generation. Because believe it or not, your kids can feel the source of that abandonment, that energy of abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to recognize that they've been abandoned too.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say definitely, if you are having those issues and problems, I would say do the same thing for your kids. Give them
Mm-hmm.
some help, talk to them, reassure them that they're loved, that you understand, that they also surround themselves with, people, their friend circles, that they surround themselves with positive people and positive affirmations as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important. It's so important to make sure that we break that generational
Yes.
chain. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what made me think of that when you said that,
Mm-hmm.
Amanda. So yeah, it's definitely, I mean, if you're feeling that way as a single parent, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
come on, your kids can
Mm-hmm.
feel that energy as well. And they understand that they feel the same abandonment. They're not going to tell you all the time. They probably don't even recognize it
Yeah.
themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be able to pick up on that as a
Yeah.
parent.
Yeah, and that's an important point, is also for the children. So you're going through this, and then again, depending on resources, but getting help for the children, and they don't have the language yet, perhaps to even know why they might be feeling a certain way, when it has to do with not having that abandonment and being able to break those chains in different ways. Yes, because that's an important point. So I'm glad that you brought that up about the children as well. Thank you for that. So in the audience, if you have any questions for Jeri or myself, you can certainly write that in the chat later. We're pre-recording this, so you'll see this tonight. But if you do have questions for Jeri, we'll be able to see that, and I can get those answers for you. And finally, Jeri, as we're coming to the end of our show today, just talking with you and hearing about how you've navigated abandonment and continue to do the work. what is one either word or phrase of encouragement for the audience? Maybe there's people that are they're just where you were in the beginning, where there's abandonment. They might be someone left them, maybe they're pregnant in the same situation or something different, or maybe they're in the middle of it. What's a word of encouragement for those who are going through abandonment wounds?
Okay, I have one word and I have one acronym that I live by. What the one word is empowerment. It's so important to feel like you have the voice within yourself, to help yourself, to help your children. It feels like you have that power and you are no longer alone or abandoned because you have yourself and you have other people to help you through whatever it's like you have that superpower and you can do it. You have to believe that you are worth it and that you can handle anything that comes your way. And I say that's the one word that I live by is empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
And the acronym that I live by is you are gold. The acronym for gold is you're genuine, you are outstanding. You have to believe that you are loving and that you are a diamond. You are a diamond. You are a rare entity. That's what I live by on an everyday basis.
Yeah, I love that you are gold and you have the meaning and you're a diamond, and just living by that and knowing that you have value and that you deserve to be treated as gold, or you deserve that. And as we believe that, we shift, and then we go with other people who believe that too, or encourage other people who don't believe that. So thank you so much, Jeri, for your time today. And I'm sure that many people will be touched by your story and your journey, and even what you're doing now, that has been part of what has caused you deeper pain, but being able to support other families and also being able to understand what they may be going through. And so I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story. And so audience, we are always on every Wednesday on the Traumaplicity Talk Show. So catch us live, and we hope you have a great week. I really want to encourage you to continue to have those affirmations, knowing that you're worth gold, as Jeri had mentioned, and also knowing that you are valuable. And so I hope you have a great week. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.